Hello!
Horror!
Yeah, horror! The horror! Okay, we're back with another contest entry. This is for Horror in TOJ. His contest. I still don't know what TOJ stands for, because I said this before.
TOJ.
Exactly, in the UK it's short for TOJ, isn't it? But he's from the UK, so he'd know that slang. I'm assuming TOJ, so maybe his name is something to do with his name, or maybe it's where he lives. Horror in TOJ makes me think it's where he lives or something like that. But I can't think of anywhere. I can't think of any town or anything like that that's got those initials.
No.
Anyway, he's got 1,000 subscribers now. Ooh. He's got a contest. This is running to the 1st of August. There's 3 prizes to win. Ooh. All you have to do is like the video. I did. Subscribe to his channel. I already did. Question 1: what is your scariest scene in horror movie history? Now, I'm useless at picking. Yeah, I'm useless at picking stuff. Yeah. But I've got a couple of memories from my childhood. Like one time, back in the day before you had remote controls. Yeah. Me and my brother might have even been in this kitchen actually. I don't know where it was, but my brother was going through the channels, all 3 of them.
So much choice.
It was a boring Saturday night, and he clicked on, and Christopher Lee's face is right there in big. He goes. Just as he turned over, my brother fucking shot across the room. Literally, man, I was on the other side of the room. I jumped out of my skin, seeing fucking Christopher Lee doing his best like vampire snarl. And my brother somehow managed to turn the channel over and leap across the room at the same time. And like we was like, should we watch that? Should we watch that? Oh, I don't know. Let's turn it over. We'll turn it back. Like arm's length turned over. So that was a particularly memorable, scary scene.
Do you know what film that was?
No, it was one of the Dracula films, obviously by Hammer. It was a Hammer film.
Was he Dracula or was he a vampire though?
Yeah.
But he was Count Dracula, did you think?
Yeah, he was Count Dracula, It was
he did a few, didn't he?
Yeah, he did loads. Yeah. Christopher Lee was playing Count Dracula, but which Count Dracula film it was, I can't remember. Yeah. Another film that we found really scary, was just for the whole film rather than a particular scene. We was around my dad's, but I thought my dad had gone out or something. Down the pub probably. So it was just me and my brother in the house, and some film in the TV Time described as a comedy horror. We thought, oh, that should be alright. Maybe it's a comedy horror if you're an older person. But me and my brother were fucking
kids.
It was like, to us it seemed like gore and like it was like, oh, we were fucking and it was I think it's Theatre of Blood with Vincent Price. He plays an actor who's like slighted by the critics, and like they think he's committed suicide or fallen into the Thames or something like that. But he drags himself out and he gets his revenge against his theatre critics in Shakespearean play kind of ways. So like, you know, stuff from Shakespeare's plays. One person gets drowned in a vat of wine, and like some bloke gets beheaded and his head ends up on a milk bottle. And it was like, me and my brother was like, this isn't very comedy, is it? And one guy gets force fed his dogs, his pet dogs. He gets force fed, so he's like, they put a funnel down his throat and they shove the fucking his dogs that are cooked into a pie down his throat. I guess it's
an old 70s or 60s film.
Till he suffocates. I think it's early 70s. Wow. It might have been a Hammer. But it was Fear of Blood. And it was like, well, there was no particular one scene that was particularly scary. It was just traumatic, really, for us kids. But a scene that I can't even think necessarily of one particular scene. Maybe Evil Dead, but anything like just anything to do with darkness and going from light into darkness. You've got no light, you've got no torch, and there's dark all around you. And particularly going downstairs with like wooden stairs where you can go behind the stairs and reach through. Right. That that always freaks you out. Yeah, that's scary. That's not walking into the dark and not knowing where things are. It takes you back to when you're a kid and your feet are hanging out. Your feet are hanging out the corner at the end of the bed, and you feel, imagine something grabs my feet. Oh, I used to always sleep on the top bunk, and I always used to have a dream when I turned the light off or jumped into the top. I always jumped in the top bunk really quickly because I think someone on the bottom might grab hold of me as I'm going to jump. So that any kind of scene like that.
And it's funny how the bedspread is like a cover.
Something that protects you.
If an axe murder coming, that's not going to help.
That's alright, I've got my cover over my head. I'll be fine. It is crazy. But I was going to say now, but not horror films where there's too fucking dark. where it's 2D, you know what I mean? You can't actually see what's going on. Yeah, that's fucking shit. Like that, I call them, films like that, I say they're filmed in darko vision.
A lot of modern horrors.
Filmed in darko vision because they can't actually make it scary, so they make it, so they just make it so fucking dark you haven't got a clue what's going on. And like you watch those films and you hear some screaming, you say to you, well, you know, idea what's going on? I've got a fucking clue. All I can see is shadow and blackness, shades of black, and that's all you can see. Those films are pointless. They're not scary, they're fucking annoying. So you've got to have enough light to get an idea that there's fucking something there. But just that sort of thought of that. So I'm going to say the scene from Evil Dead, or possibly is it Evil Dead 2, or possibly every single Evil Dead there ever was, where you're going down into the cellar and you don't know where. You know there's something down there, and you know it's going to fucking grab you at some point, but you don't know exactly when. That's the scenes. But let's call it the Evil Dead scene. That one. That's for me is the scary horror movie history scene. So let's go with your one.
Well,
you had trouble, didn't you?
Well, it's just I find it hard to remember shit like that, and you've seen so many horrors. Well, back when I was a kid, I was like, I went through my VHS. You know, when you hire film, I just went through the horrors. You do that. So
I used to get them out.
I don't know. One that just popped in my head actually is that the first Jason film where Jason comes out the lake at the end. That fucking shit me up.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. That first one where I fucking hit the ceiling when that happened.
But it's jumps. That's a jump scare.
Yeah, jump scares. It's a modern film, isn't it?
I don't think jump scares are the same when it comes to scares.
No,
scary.
It's got to be in your soul.
I think it's got to be a prolonged kind of scare, a feeling of foreboding. I think it's more scary than the jump scare.
Yeah, the downside of modern horrors is everything's jump scares.
Yeah,
it's a bit stupid, really.
There is a lot, but. Can you? Is that it?
No. I'm going to go with something that really affected me as a child. The album affected me as well as the film was, and it's not really a horror, but I find it horrific. Is Pink Floyd's The Wall film?
Oh right, okay.
That fucking film is dark as fucking shit.
That's disturbing rather than scary.
Yeah, it's disturbing. Yeah. But there's a couple of scenes in it that particularly have always affected me. One where you see a young Pink balancing a bullet on a train line, like it's just stuff kids did, and the train goes over and hits the bullet, and you get a loud bang. It's just things kid did back in wartime. But he's almost getting run over, and the kids are saying, "Get out of the way," and he just gets out of the way in time. And the train goes by, but there's all these faces, all these faces looking at him with worm. They look like worms.
All right.
They got like worm masks.
Okay.
This is the whole film. The worm side of the album is like about decaying because you're isolating yourself and you're going mad.
Okay.
So there's this worm thing going through it, and they're like.
There's the Conqueror worm, isn't there? Edgar Allan Poe, there was a poem, The Conqueror Worm, which is about worms, like, eating your body after you die kind of thing. The Conqueror Worm is like, you know, the end decay and rot and whatever.
It's funny, there's a film in early 90s that copied that, Jacob's Ladder, a really good horror film. Similar thing, he jumps away from the train and there's all these people staring at him in the train as it's going by.
I've just remembered one actually, This film, I remember seeing this as a kid, it always freaked me out. It's a Spanish horror film and it's kind of like comedic and weird. And then but then it gets kind of weirder, and then at the end it's kind of like, oh fucking hell. And you know, like Jaws made people scared to go into the ocean. This made me scared to go into telephone boxes. It's literally some bloke, he goes into a telephone box to make a call, after he's finished the call, the door won't open. He's like, that's fucking weird, door won't open. And people come along and try and open the door, and then finally the telephone company come along, bang the telephone box on the back of a fucking lorry, and start travelling through Spain with it. And it's like, this is fucking weird, how can they get me out? And then this is another bloke on the back of a lorry on a telephone box being looked at in the same place.
And he's like,
and he just started getting more, it gave me a fucking chill to say that actually. And he just starts getting more fucking, like, what the fuck? And then finally he ends up in a warehouse, and there's fucking literally hundreds of telephone boxes with fucking emaciated and skeletons and shit, and he's suddenly realisation this is it, he's in that telephone box to die, and it's just a crazy fucking film. But it's just like, I watched that as a kid, and literally every time I went into the telephone box after that, I would fucking leave the door, I would hold the fucking, I'd have my leg out like that, holding the door open, put myself, hello, I'm fine, This is the day, long before mobile phones.
I'll have to check
but that was such an inventive, and that scene was just scary and fucking kind of mind blowing. Oh man, that's fucking heavy shit.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of like fantasies, like it's obviously ridiculous, like, but just that, it was like, wow, that's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, talking about claustrophobic films, you've got something like The Vanishing, French film.
Right. Was that one remade?
Yeah.
It's about his wife gets kidnapped and buried alive.
Well, we give away the end, never mind.
Yeah, people that see it.
But Buried, have you ever seen Buried?
Not sure.
The whole film is he's an Iraqi, he's a soldier in Iraq.
Yeah,
and the whole film is in a box underground. It's horrendous, but good, but it's horrible.
Is it Ryan Reynolds in there?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah, really good.
I think I did see that.
The other scene in the wall that really freaks me out is, again, when he's a kid, he looks at himself in the future as a sort of madman, so that he touches this bloke and it's he turns around and he's in a straight jacket, and that just shits me up. It's Bob Geldof, but you know, I think he does well. But like, that's really scary. But you know what, there's so much out there. I mean, The Shining is probably my favourite horror film of all time, just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There's so much good horror that's scary, I just can't think of it.
I know. The nice thing is I'm probably going to come up with a fucking 100 fucking, you know, but I think when you get a bit anaesthetised to horror, don't you? Because you see so much of it. So mainly it's the ones you remember as a kid.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The Thing's got some quite. The Thing when they're all tied to the sofa.
That's
that's quite a good scary scene. But it's
scary.
Yeah, and stuff like another scene which is not really. It's kind of a horror, but it's like more turned into an action thing. Aliens. Just when they're sitting there with the machine that detects movement, it's going dub dub dub. And it's like the tension as they're fucking, where are they? They're in the room, they're in the room!
Yeah, that Alien's brilliant. Alien's brilliant as well.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. That bit in the Thing though, after they think it's the old man who's the Thing, when they're all tied together.
Oh, you're talking about the old... the wall?
No, the Thing.
The Thing, yeah.
You know when they're all tied together? And they all think it's the old man, don't they? But it turns out it's the other guy.
Yeah.
And at the end he's like, I don't want to... It's funny,
I don't want to spend all fucking winter tied to this fucking chair!
It cracks me up.
Definitely, it's a fucking awesome line.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you can think of old favourite scary movie scenes?
It's just too much.
Yeah.
But it's too much that I can't think of anything.
The Exorcist is quite scary.
Yeah.
When cause she looks genuinely evil, and I remember watching that as a young age.
At the time,
she's green and her fucking head's revolving and all that kind of shit, and that's quite. Some of the deleted scenes as well, where she fucking spider walks down the fucking stairs. You see, it's kind of like
the deleted scenes.
And then she fucking goes in and just pisses herself in the fucking middle of the. That's
it's just
from
1972. Which is quite extreme, isn't it?
And the voice, that deep, dark voice coming out of that little kid.
It's a real actor.
Yeah. It's someone called Mercedes or something.
That's a sort of slightly worked on, but it's really a real voice.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Anyway, so let's move on. Second question. What horror movie would you recommend that nobody ever talks about? Now, I haven't got a massive amount of horror movies. I wanted to show what it's in my collection because I watch a lot of horror, but I don't collect horror now because I've got too many other. I collect fucking comic books now. That's my main focus.
I got rid of a lot of my films.
Yeah. I mean, I've got old VHS and DVDs, but you know, I just don't tend to buy them. I went to try and watch one on Netflix or something like that, really. But the one that I remember from back in the 90s that I bought, I remember seeing this in Woolworths or HMV or something like that, and no one ever talks about it much. It's an old kind of comedy horror from the UK. It's the most entertaining and original film of the year. It's Revenge of Billy the Kid.
I've never heard of it.
It's quite funny. It's got some gore in it, but it's mainly quite funny. Basically it's kind of like it almost not inbred, but there's like a family living on an island, like a little farm on an island, separated from the rest of the. I wouldn't be surprised if the mum and dad were brother and sister. They don't actually say that, but you know. And so he's supposed to take his goat to a farm to get it studied, so it starts giving more milk. And he's halfway. He's sort of on the way down. He goes, you know what? I can't be fucking bothered, so I'll give you a studying. And he fucks his goat, and the goat has a human goat hybrid, Billy the Kid.
Really?
Yeah, and the daughter like has it as a pet, and he tries to kill it, and he ends up coming back and starts killing everybody. So it is daft. Old MacDonald had a farm, and on that farm he had a goat. E-I-E-I-O. Brilliant Man's answer to the Evil Dead is what it says in the blurb.
Okay, that's.
Let me read you. The Revenge of Billy the Kid is an outrageous farce like no other comedy film you've ever seen. Its bizarre blend of murder and mirth, terror and titters simply defies sane description. When horny-handed farmer Giles MacDonald has his wicked way with the farmyard goat, little does he realise the freakish consequences of his strange desires. The MacDonalds are crude and grotesque, living by their dim wits on a desolate island. Shunned by the mainlanders, the family's laughable lifestyle is shattered when the unfortunate goat finally gives birth. Only Giles' soft-headed daughter takes pity on the hideous creature. Naming it Billy, she warns her brutish brothers to keep their hands off her newfound friend. But Billy doesn't bleat about the bush. It grows quickly, too quickly for Giles, who realises his diabolical secret will soon be out, and the legacy of his evil lust is about to drop him deep in the manure. So it's quite silly. There's stupid things like they're all called Ronald. All the kids are called Ronald for some reason. So you've got two brothers called Ronald, and she's called Ronald as well, but she likes to be called Ronnie.
Ronnie, yeah.
It's stupid stuff, but it's quite funny though. It is quite funny. It's quite daft, but worth a watch. Worth a watch for a laugh. But I suppose it's not got a bit more of a cult status like Brain Dead. But it was pretty. And I never I don't know the people who did this ever went on to do anything else. And the woman in it. Ronnie, I remember looking her up once. I don't think she ever done anything. Massive pair of knockers, but she doesn't get them out. That's the one regret about this film. She doesn't get her knockers out.
That's because I'm watching it.
No. You think, come on, it's a B movie. Let's have some knockers.
Especially when they're big.
Yeah, exactly. But no luck.
No, never mind.
That's probably the scariest scene in the movie. The fact that you don't get to see her knockers. I've been haunted by that since to this day.
Yeah.
Anyway, on a serious note, what's your
this is a bit,
horror?
It is a bit more serious. I really, this is a film that came out in 2011. I really love it, and it just popped in my head like about half hour ago. Have you heard of a film called Kill List? British horror.
I didn't like that.
Oh, I like it.
I thought to me, it seemed like it had pretty good promise, and it was like some quite mystery. But then, to me, the payoff was a bit like, what the fuck was that all about then?
Well, that's why I like it.
I was like, the payoff's a bit
that's why I like it.
daft, I thought.
Well, it's kind of Wicker Man mixed with other stuff, really. It's like, well, he's a hitman.
Yeah.
He's like kind of out of job hitman, and he gets these contracts from these kind of strange people, but he got no choice. He's got no money, so he takes them, kills his people, but he's kind of being set up.
I didn't get it.
I liked it. What I liked about it is...
I liked about it. I liked the fact that every time he was killing them, they were thanking him for killing them. Thank you, as if it was another because the sort of mystery was there. Like, that's freaking weird. Why are you doing that? And then the payoff...
Did you not like the payoff?
No, I was like, well, that was fucking stupid and made no sense.
No, I don't agree.
Unless I fucking missed something.
Well...
Because they weren't going to come back alive, these people.
I don't want to give anything away by saying the ending, but I think the ending's great.
I thought it was crap.
But we have disagreed quite a lot with films over the years, to be honest. But anyway, don't listen to him. Go and check out. What I like about it as well, it's very British. So it has his wife nagging him at the beginning. So you don't. It does feel like two films in one because you have the sort of the normal British couple. The wife nagging, get a job, and it's just a normal kind of hitman. But then it goes into weird Wicker Man territory. But I quite liked it. I thought it was weird. I thought the ending was quite horrible, actually. I guess it. Is it as silly as that? I mean, I like it. I think it's well worth checking out because it's not a film anyone really talks about.
No.
It's the guy who directed it is a guy called Ben Wheatley.
Right.
And he went on to do Sightseers. Which is another sort of British weird horror.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
And High Rise. He got his big break with the film High Rise.
Is that the one where there's a sniper on another building shooting people in the high rise? Yeah.
I haven't seen it. No, it's based on an old Ballard, J.D. Ballard book of like the rich people are at the top, the poor people are at the bottom. It's that kind of deal. But
something for me to check out then.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should watch horror movies and do like horror movie reactions or something.
Yeah.
They're quite big for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
You know, people watching films and just talking about the film as they're watching it, and like people are like, oh yeah.
And they're copyright shit with that.
No, you can't show it to people. You can't show it to other people.
Yeah.
It's literally your reaction. I think you can have some like clips in the bottom kind of.
That's like,
I haven't got the technology for that.
That's
shit,
like Gogglebox, isn't it? That
yeah.
TV program.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our entry into horror in TOJ's competition. Oh yeah, last part. You got to shout out some fellow YouTubers, which is awkward because I forgot to make a list. Hobbs Horror is one that I try and check out. Any comments on my stuff? HorrorHands. I watch some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Horrific Nightmares. JM.
He's a good man.
Yeah. Genome Presents. He does horror as well as lots of other stuff as well. He does on there. Let me quickly go into my thing, see if there's any other horror channels that I can shout out. It doesn't have to be horror channels, I don't think, but
it makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes sense to do more horror.
I don't watch any horror guys on YouTube. Really.
Yeah, mainly people showing off their hauls and that. If I think of any more, I'll put them down in the list below. Horrific Nightmares JM, yeah. I would make
if anything, I'm trying to subscribe to less, you know, like, well, it's like, I feel I watch too much,
yeah.
Really, you know.
Well,
I don't watch any TV,
I don't watch any TV.
We just watch YouTube
basically, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. There's probably shitloads more, but that I do for now. That's the horror ones I get off the top of my head. Anyway, we're finished.
We are.
We're going goodbye. Watch this film if you haven't already.
Watch Kill List, ignore
Kill List. Anyway, cheerio!